This lesson covers the uses of the present subjunctive with affirmative phrases, negative phrases, and adjectival clauses. You must be aware that some verbs and phrases will only activate the subjunctive if they are used negatively, and conversely, they will not activate the subjunctive if used affirmatively. So some negative subjunctive phrases, we have no creer, no suponer, no parecer, no comprender, no estar seguro, no pensar. And now the affirmative form of these phrases will use the indicative and will not activate the subjunctive. The reverse is also true. Some verbs and phrases only activate the subjunctive if used affirmatively, but they will not activate the subjunctive if used negatively. So some affirmative subjunctive verbs and phrases, we have dudar, negar, hay dudo que, es dudoso que. And the negative form of these verbs and phrases use the indicative, and they do not activate the subjunctive. So adjective clauses are relative clauses which consist of a relative pronoun, usually que or quien, followed by a description that modifies a noun. I'm going to give you an example of one adjective clause used in 3 different sentences. ¿Conoces al hombre quien trabaja aquí? Conozco al hombre quien trabaja aquí. No conozco a nadie quien trabaje aquí. So, in the first 2 sentences, trabajar was indicative, but in the third example, it was subjunctive. I will explain why that is the case shortly. So with adjective clauses, the subjunctive may or may not be triggered. It depends on the speaker's perception of reality. And oftentimes we use verbs like buscar, necesitar, querer, conocer, and haber in these types of adjective clauses, but there are many other verbs that can be used as well. In adjective clauses, we use the indicative when referring to a specific object or person that does exist with certainty. ¿Conoces al hombre quien trabaja aquí? Al hombre, the man, refers to a specific person that does exist, so we use the indicative. Hay mucha gente quien no come carne. This is a general statement of fact, and there are, indicates that these people do exist, so we use the indicative again. Estoy buscando la herramienta que funciona. The tool, la herramienta, refers to a specific object that does exist, so again the indicative applies. Tengo un estudiante que escribe bien. Saying I have a student indicates that student does exist, and it refers to a specific person, so again the indicative is used. Queremos ver tu sonrisa que brilla. Your smile that shines is a specific object that does exist, so once again we use the indicative. Adjective clauses use the subjunctive if referring to an object or person that may or may not exist, or perhaps it does not exist altogether. ¿Conoces a un hombre quien trabaje aquí? So asking if you know a man who works here is not referring to a specific person. This man may or may not exist, but we can't say with certainty. Therefore we use the subjunctive. ¿Hay mucha gente quien no coma carne? So this question is asking if there are many people who don't eat meat. We don't know with certainty if there are or if there are not many people, so therefore we use the subjunctive. Estoy buscando una herramienta que funcione. A tool, una herramienta, is not referring to a specific object. Therefore we use the subjunctive. Necesito un estudiante que escriba bien. In the indicative example we said, I have a student, but this time we say, I need a student. So this time we don't know if the student exists with certainty, so therefore we use the subjunctive. ¿Lees un libro que me guste? So asking if you are reading a book I like is not referring to a specific book. Therefore we use the subjunctive. We also use the subjunctive in adjective clauses if the verb in the main clause is negative and it does not refer to an object or person that does exist with certainty. No conozco a nadie quien trabaje aquí. No hay mucha gente quien no coma carne. ¿No buscas una herramienta que funcione? No tengo un estudiante que escriba bien. No quiero un hijo que no escuche. So in all of these examples, we have a negative verb, and we do not refer to a specific object or person that does exist with certainty. Therefore, all of these examples will use the subjunctive. We have now completed all the lessons which cover the uses of the present subjunctive, but we do have the imperfect subjunctive coming up next, so we are not quite yet done with the topic of the subjunctive as a whole. As I always say, I would very much appreciate it if you can share my video series with your friends and teachers. And that is all for now, so until next time.